So my love for travel developed probably when I was born. I was born into a family of travelers. I was born into a family where half of them were Panamanian American. My grandmother was the first to come over from Bocas del Toro, Panama to New York, and she moved her whole family to California. So I really say that it's in my blood. But not only that, I always say that I was born with the travel gene. And since I was about 9 years old, I had a parent who worked for an airline, which allowed us the benefit to travel everywhere in the world. So if you can imagine, we weren't only in the cars, we were also in the sky, and my mom made sure that we traveled every single summer. So we were very, very well versed and pretty much world citizens. The memory that I have of traveling is to learn how to read a map. So we're talking about before GPS systems, right? So my dad lives in Ohio, and we would take the 3-day car ride from Oakland, California to Xenia, Ohio, and you had to learn how to read a map. And if you didn't, you would make a mistake and you would be going an hour out of your way, and that would add time on. But this is when I learned how to read a map, and people don't understand the importance of things like learning how to read a map, being able to write in cursive, being able to memorize numbers. But that for me was a game changer. If you can read a map, you can get anywhere you want to in the world. So the show came about by my amazing assistant producer named Victoria Donfer, and she came up with the show where they were celebrating the excellence of the Negro Motorist Green Book by Victor and Alma D. Green. And because in 2020 I created my own version of the Green Book, which helped people locate Black-owned businesses on 6 out of 7 continents, they found my Instagram. So I tell people all the time, even if your Instagram only has 2,000 followers, keep going, because somebody is watching that content. And they found me on Instagram, and they reached out to me and they said, we have this show and we think that you'll be perfect for it. So I was like, I absolutely want to do it. And from the first time that I met with them, we could just feel the passion. It felt right. And when I was able to, actually pick the locations that we wanted to go to, I had already visited these places, sat down with a lot of Black entrepreneurs in these spaces, and was able to make the connection through the Negro Motorist Green Book and mine, the ABC Travel Green Book, and the show just fell completely into place. It's amazing. I can't wait for people to watch it. It is so incredible. So I've been in the travel industry for about 7 years now, and I remember I was sitting at my desk. I worked for a fashion company. It was October the 28th, 2017, and I was just fed up. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Paris randomly, right? For Halloween. And at the time, I had connected with a Black travel group that was out of Paris called Black Voyagers. And I had missed the opportunity to go to a concert with them maybe 2 months before, because I ended up missing my flight. So I called him. His name is Xavier, and I called him. I said, listen, I'm coming out here, for Halloween. I want you to host me. And he said, okay. And when he hosted me, the Paris that he showed me was not the Paris that we see. It wasn't the Louvre. It wasn't the Eiffel Tower. It wasn't the Champs-Élysées. It was Black Paris. It was Little Africa. It was gumbo yaya soul food. And I just couldn't believe it. And for me, I thought I was a hyper traveler, which means somebody who travels all the time. But I said, if I'm a Black traveler and I didn't realize that Black people were in Paris like this, I know other people don't realize that. So that was my first initial time that I said, I'm gonna tell the world about Black travel across the world, because we are everywhere, and you should be able to connect with other people who look like you no matter where you go in the world. So the show impacted me in a way that honestly is indescribable, because like I said before, I had connected with a lot of these people on the ground even before the show. But having the opportunity to now also give them a national and international platform with a brand like NATGEO, so people know their stories, is something that I'm just so grateful for. And I also uncovered a lot of my family's history on the show, which is something that I had no intentions of doing, that I didn't even know was happening. So the show was almost like a full circle moment for me. And you guys will see without me giving it away, but when you get to Denver, the 5 Points neighborhood, you guys will be able to see exactly what I'm talking about, and how my family directly, had a lot to do with this Black, powerful neighborhood that's still in Denver today. So I would love for viewers to take away the importance of Black communities, the importance of Black businesses, and what we were to each other back then, because this is before the Jim Crow, right? This was the Jim Crow era. So this is before Black people could actually go in the same spaces as anybody else. So we had to create our own. And if it wasn't for things like the Black press, all of this information would be lost. And I say it all the time, these are unsung heroes. These are the most known unknowns. So I would really love for people to learn about the sidewalks that they're walking up and down, and how Black people really made these communities what they were, and how Black people traveled to here, how they were the mecca for Black excellence. It's a celebration of Black excellence in every single destination that we visit, and a real celebration of the brilliance that was so many people, of the entrepreneurship of so many people, and how to really keep that Black travel dollar going. I would say, if you're hesitant to travel, to understand that travel is the best education system you can have. It is the best way to interact with people who do not look like you. This is not something you can Google. This is not something you can get from watching a virtual experience. There's nothing like connecting with someone, with their family on the ground, regardless if you can speak the same language, right? Travel makes love universal. Travel makes music universal. Travel makes food universal, because you get to enjoy all of these things with people who you would never meet unless you travel to that destination. So do it. Pack your stuff and go. So the show is called Black Travel Across America. It will air in the US on February 6th and Disney Plus on February 24th. And I can't wait for you all to see it. People can find me on social media at Marty_San Diego, at the ABC Travel Green Book, and on LinkedIn at Martinique Lewis.